Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jeff Wong. I make videos about my fitness and health. I like to talk about things that have worked and didn't work, and sometimes I struggle with things physically and emotionally, and I like to be real about it. So I'm here to share those things with you and also talk a little bit about some of the tech that's kind of cool. So you can see the gym behind me. These are things that I've been getting into recently. So it all started one morning when I woke up. I just looked in the mirror and I saw someone that I didn't recognize. I was overweight, I was middle-aged, and I was a workaholic. And I stepped on the scale and I saw that I was nearing 200 pounds. Even though the scale said 195, there are days that I probably hit over 200, and I was kind of in denial. And while that might not sound like a lot of weight, for my height and for my body type, it was high. And so the weight gain and me becoming unhealthy wasn't something that happened overnight. It wasn't even because of the pandemic or COVID and being, kind of cooped up inside. It actually happened over the course of the last decade. For most of my life, I got away with kind of being skinny, but somewhere along the lines of my 30s, I worked a lot and health and fitness wasn't my priority anymore. I ended up avoiding taking selfies and pictures a lot of times. So I don't have too many videos of myself. I don't have too many pictures of myself. But when I saw them, I couldn't recognize who that person was. And a lot of times when I haven't seen people in a long time, they would greet me and they're surprised by how much weight I've gained. And sometimes jokingly, they would touch me in the stomach and they're like, whoa. And that inspired me to lose weight throughout the years. And I tried and failed several times. I would go on a diet or exercise hard for about 2 months, and then I'd fall off the bandwagon. And I'd throw myself back into my work. And what ended up happening was I would gain more weight. And eventually, I would fall into this kind of crazy spiral. And the truth of it is, the greatest enemy wasn't actually potential diabetes or my heart condition and other health issues. It was really just me applying that stress to myself because I believed that certain things were a higher priority than my health. So for a long time, I got away with kind of hiding that, and it eventually kind of bursted out through the seams. Literally, I couldn't fit in shirts anymore, and it felt like it was hard to always start over again. That was the greatest challenge. So here we are today, and if you follow my Instagram channel, you'll know that I've lost 30 pounds, and I've made a lot of changes to my life, and it's been transformational. What I actually wanted to share with you today is the most unexpected change in my life, which is I actually started enjoying running. It's something that I've always hated my entire life. And yeah, hate is a strong word, and it accurately describes how I felt about running. Since I was young, we were taught to just run really fast. And in high school, I would have to join track and field because some of the other sports, I just didn't like playing. And we ended up doing a lot of running, and most of those were sprints. And that's all I knew how to do. I just kind of went 100% and sprinted. And when we did well, we were rewarded with more competitive running. And so we would go to track meets and we'd run faster, and we would do relay races, and everything was all about running faster and competing with another person. And later in my 20s, when I started working, I joined a fitness group, and it was all about setting personal record times and improving, and there's a lot of competitiveness, and that's my relationship with running. I didn't really like it at that point, and so it wasn't until recently that I kind of experimented a little bit. And so today I wanted to share with you 4 things that I've learned that actually have made me enjoy running, and is also something I wish I knew 6 months ago. So coming in at number 1 is don't compare yourself. Our fitness level changes, and as we get older, it varies even more. Everybody is at a different level. So what could end up happening is you'll start comparing yourself. This person runs a mile at this speed, at this time, and then another person will run at this distance, at this speed, at this time, and everybody becomes more competitive. And I think that what it does is it sets you up for failure, because running is honestly, at least for me, it's not the most pleasurable thing, especially when you're pushing yourself really, really hard. And so what you're asking your body to do is to endure something painful for a long period of time. And just to be clear, there's no point in working out that hard unless you're competing for some sort of race. Otherwise, you risk yourself getting injured. So number 2 is to slow down, like really, really slow down. So when I first started off, I would walk for an hour or 2, and just to get the blood going in my body. So there's an old saying, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And this is so true. So at some point from walking, I was able to jog. And from jogging, I was able to incorporate some running. But that took time. That took me 6 months to get to where I am today, where I can actually run further and faster. So again, slow down. So that brings us to the third thing, focus on your heart rate. So how do we calculate the optimal heart rate? So you take 220 and you subtract your age. I'm 42 years old, so 220 minus 42 is 178. And 178 represents my maximum heart rate that I should be going at. Running at your maximum heart rate is going to damage your engine in the long run. 178, that is the maximum heart rate for me at my age and my fitness level. It will be different for you. So how do we find the optimal heart rate zone for running? That's calculated by being in the aerobic heart rate zone. It's kind of the, quote unquote, the fat burning zone. And the way to get that is to take 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. So 70 to 80% of 178 is approximately 125 to 145 BPM. So that's the ideal heart rate zone that I should be at as I'm running. And I can play with that a little bit. So if I want to increase my speed, I can always push a little bit harder, but I watch my heart rate and I literally check my watch like every 30 seconds to see where it's at. And sometimes when I'm doing progressive running, I will try to run a little bit harder, throughout the run. And by the end, I'm probably up to maybe even 160. But my average heart rate, I try to keep it at 145 in that session. So by understanding my heart rate, I've been able to develop more endurance and more speed. And the best way to describe that aerobic zone is you should be able to have a conversation. And you'll hear a lot of other people talk about that, but it really is true. If you're panting and you're out of breath, you're probably outside the optimal zone. And so you want to slow down. And if that means that you have to walk at that speed, like you have to go at a fast walking pace, that's okay. That's where you want to start. That's where I started. So the last learning I want to leave you with is to make yourself comfortable. Oftentimes we think of running as something that we have to grind and push ourselves, and the pain is what we have to fight through. We have to develop this mental strength to keep on pushing through. And I say, hell no, you need to be comfortable. If you want to develop more endurance, you want to work out more, you want to actually enjoy what you're doing and actually say, hey, I love running, I like working out, you need to make yourself comfortable. And so there are a couple things that I've done to try to make myself more comfortable when I run. So first off, I don't run in the heat. I don't like it. I don't like sweating my face off. Some days I'll run outside when it's cooler. That's very nice. So a nice breeze, and I wait until it's like about 75 degrees or lower. But most of the time I'm indoors. I have a treadmill. It's something that I made the investment into buying. You see it in the background. So I actually have a fan pointed at me when I'm running on the treadmill. The goal of it is to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable running, you're not comfortable working out, you're not going to want to do it. Your body is going to say, stop, stop, stop. I don't like this. And your mind, and you're going to use that willpower to try to fight through that. And it sounds good in theory, but you can't do that forever. Willpower is a finite resource. Otherwise, try to make yourself comfortable. Try to find a place where you feel like you can work out and you can actually say, this feels good, okay? Like I'm in, the temperature feels right, or you're outdoors and, it's a nice day. Go for that run. So another thing that I've done to improve my comfort is I got a good pair of shoes. So for me, I run on the Brooks Ghost 14. It is a running shoe. So it's kind of a boring shoe. There's no crazy, awesome, new, special space age technology in it. It's just a boring running shoe. I've ran hundreds of miles on that shoe and I really enjoy it. The reason why it's good is because it's comfortable. It fits the type of running style that I have, and I have a pair for indoors and I have a pair for outdoors. You can go to a store like Roadrunner Sports, and so they'll actually take a video of you walking and running, and they'll kind of do an analysis of your foot pattern. They'll actually give you a couple of shoes to try on. So hopefully by having a good shoe, it will help you exercise more and be in more comfort, and also reduce chances of injury. Okay, so those are some of the tips that I picked up over the last couple of months. I hope they helped you. If you have any questions about them, leave them in the comments below, or if you have tips of your own, again, drop a comment. So to everyone who's following me right now and subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And so for those of you that are new to this channel, I push out videos twice a week, and I don't do this to try to sell anything to anybody. This has been the biggest transformation in my life, and I really appreciate you joining me on this journey. So yeah, I have other videos that share some tips. You can watch my 30-pound transformation and some of the gear that I use. So I'll be seeing you guys soon. So until the next one, cheers everybody. Thank you.